Welcome to the English Boost podcast, the place where you improve your English naturally through the power of storytelling. I'm so glad you're here. Today, we're going to spend the day together, not at a cafe, not on an adventure, but right at home. Because sometimes, the most ordinary days are full of the most useful language. This story is called Housework Day, a Day of Chores. You'll hear the story in the first person, told slowly and clearly, so you can follow along and absorb the language naturally. And because the vocabulary is repeated throughout the story, you'll have lots of chances to remember and practice. So, whether you're doing your own cleaning while listening, or simply relaxing, grab your headphones, get comfortable, and let's step into this peaceful and productive day together. Let's begin. It all started when I woke up and looked around my bedroom. Clothes were on the chair, dust had settled on the windowsill, and I couldn't even remember the last time I vacuumed. That was it. I decided today would be my big housework day. I rolled out of bed, slowly. The first thing I did was open the window to let in some fresh air. The room smelled a little stuffy, so the breeze felt nice. Then I stretched my arms and took a deep breath. Time to get started. I always like to begin by making my bed. It gives me a sense of order. I pulled up the sheets, straightened the blanket, and fluffed the pillows. It looked much better already. Then I took a damp cloth and wiped the nightstand and the window ledge. Dust had gathered in the corners. I even dusted my lamp. While I was still in the bedroom, I thought I might as well do a quick tidy up. I picked up my clothes from the chair and sorted them into two piles, one for the laundry and one to hang back in the closet. I also found a few empty water bottles under the bed. How did those get there? I threw them into a recycling bag. Next stop, the kitchen. First things first, coffee. I can't clean without caffeine. I made a quick cup and toasted a slice of bread. While I waited, I glanced around and saw dirty dishes in the sink, crumbs on the table, and oil stains on the stove. It was time for a deep clean. Once I finished breakfast, I turned on some music to make the chores more enjoyable. I started by washing the dishes. There were quite a few: plates, glasses, a frying pan from last night. I added dish soap, filled the sink with warm water, and started scrubbing. I rinsed everything well and placed it all on the drying rack. Then I moved on to wiping down the countertops. There were coffee rings, breadcrumbs, and little smudges everywhere. I used an all-purpose cleaner and wiped every surface, even the handles on the fridge and the microwave. Next came the stovetop. It had burnt-on spots that needed a little extra effort. I sprayed some degreaser, let it sit for a minute, and then scrubbed. It wasn't perfect, but it looked way better than before. After the kitchen was sparkling, I grabbed the broom and swept the floor. Then I filled a bucket with warm water and lemon-scented floor cleaner and started mopping. The floor felt sticky in some spots, so I paid extra attention there. I left the kitchen to dry and went back to the laundry room. I sorted my clothes into whites, darks, and colors. I loaded the washing machine, added detergent, and started the cycle. While the clothes were washing, I decided to tackle the living room. I started by picking up things that didn't belong: shoes, books, random mail. Then I dusted the bookshelves, picture frames, and the TV stand. I even remembered to dust the top of the ceiling fan, which was surprisingly dusty. After that, it was time to vacuum. I love the sound of a vacuum. It's oddly satisfying. I vacuumed the carpet thoroughly, moving the coffee table and going under the sofa. I also vacuumed the curtains. Yes, curtains! They collect a lot of dust. The washing machine beeped. I went to switch the clothes to the dryer and started a new load. While that ran, I began folding the dry clothes. T-shirts, socks, towels, pajamas. I separated them into neat piles and took them to their proper places. Then, I grabbed the iron and ironed a few shirts that had wrinkled in the dryer. I'm not great at ironing, but I try. Once they were done, I hung them neatly in the closet. Now it was time for the bathroom. I always save the bathroom for last because I find it the most unpleasant. I put on rubber gloves and started with the sink. I sprayed some disinfectant and scrubbed the basin, the faucet, and the mirror. Then I cleaned the toilet, bowl, seat, lid, everything. I used toilet cleaner and a brush for the inside and disinfecting wipes for the outside. Next came the bathtub. I sprayed the tiles with bathroom cleaner and scrubbed the grout lines. It took effort, but I finally got rid of the soap scum and water stains. Then I rinsed everything and dried it with a clean towel. I changed the towels in the bathroom mat, and finally, I mopped the bathroom floor too. By now, I was tired, but I wasn't done yet. I took out the trash and the recycling and brought the bags outside. I wiped down the garbage can and replaced the liners. Then I gave the porch a quick sweep and watered the potted plants out front. They looked thirsty. Back inside, I faced the last big task, organizing the closet. I opened the doors and sighed. It was chaos. I pulled everything out: shoes, jackets, bags, boxes. I made 3 piles: keep, donate, and throw away. I folded the donate clothes and packed them into a bag. The throwaway pile went straight to the bin. The rest I organized carefully. I even labeled some storage boxes. With the closet finally done, the house felt brand new. To finish, I lit a candle, turned on some soft music, and made myself a cup of tea. I sank into the sofa, looked around, and felt genuinely proud. Everything was clean, fresh, and organized. And best of all, I didn't rush. I enjoyed the process. Cleaning can be therapeutic, especially when you take your time and turn it into a little ritual. And that brings us to the end of today's story. Housework Day, a day of chores. You followed along from the moment I opened my eyes in a messy bedroom to the final quiet moment on the couch, candle flickering, cup of tea in hand. We made the bed, did the dishes, cleaned the bathroom, vacuumed, organized, folded, sorted, scrubbed, and most importantly, you learned a whole collection of practical English vocabulary in context. Thanks for spending this cleaning day with me. See you in the next episode.